Hey, 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 Samantha here from Branches of Vibrational Healing. I hope everyone's having a good holiday. I know the energy has been wild. Holidays are supposed to be a time for just chilling, relaxing, being grateful. And yet we're like busy little beavers and bees and I don't know why I'm doing T-Rex. But anyways, I just got off a call with one of my beautiful coaching clients, and I feel like I need to press upon this topic for all women out there, um, but also for men to understand women a little bit more, um, because this is definitely something that's not discussed to the depths that it needs to be discussed, if at all, right? So, us girls, we get our periods, menstrual cycle. I'm not afraid to say it. I used to be. Um, and with this client, we were discussing how she has some really bad menstrual cycles and really bad cramps and periods and, some other stuff. And we have been able to connect to two other lives that have definitely affected the womb energy. So the sacral chakra, right? The root chakra pulled from the solar plexus, all that. Um, where her being a female was very unsafe, how the female was mistreated, abused for their lady parts, for being able to give birth, for not being able to stand in their divine feminine energy, their intuition, their trust, right? And then we were also able to, I was like, hey, what happened at this age? Because that age was coming in. She's like, that's the first time I got my period. And so we connected with that age of her, and the energy of hiding came forth, which then developed into shame, right? Because when we get our periods, I mean, let's be real. It's not fun. It's not pleasant. Um, and we go through a very awkward stage of, can people see it? Do people know? Who do I talk to? Will it be celebrated amongst my friends, or will it be judged and made fun of and shamed amongst my friends? Does this mean I have to have sex now? Like, what's going to happen with my boobs? Um, what do I use? Right? Like, and then it goes into the whole thing of, I don't feel good. And if I say I have my period, it's like, oh, I got your period. Oh, so it's an excuse. And then it's like shamed again. And then, like, you have to go to school, you have to play sports, right? You have to have family events. And if you don't feel good and you're tired and no one talks about the symptoms and lets you know that it's okay to feel that way, you literally go into hiding. You feel shame around every time, every single month, you feel shame and you hide. Now, I'm speaking for majority of women here. If you are someone who is able to fully express and being like, and we're supported with it, kudos. I That's beautiful. I would love to hear your side and your story and see how that's impacted you. Because like we learned to dare, which is like don't do drugs. We didn't learn anything about sex education, which is the period too. Um, and I remember I was at Bickford's. I don't know if you guys remember Bickford's. And I was wearing white pants. I got my period. And I was on a date. I think I was like 14. So whatever dates are then. Maybe I was 15, I don't know. But I got my first time I got my period when I was 14. And so this was when I was 15, and it was during the summer, and I was wearing these like white pants. And I thought I was like so cute. And I got up and had my period. I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and it was blood. So I was terrified to go back to the table. Who saw what they were going to say? I wanted to leave. I felt disgusting. I was sweaty. I was crampy. I was angry. I was embarrassed. And I've never worn white since then. And it just so happens that when I do wear white, like I spill stuff on it all the time. But I really truly believe it began there of like, oh my God, like I can't wear something that could possibly give me away, we'll say. Um, and it's so interesting because then me and my client, like memories were popping up of her um like 2 years prior of events where she was amongst girls and she was like made fun of for something. And then I went into these thoughts where like the same stuff has happened to me where I went into hiding. And so then when the period thing happens, it's like you totally go into hiding. Um, and then throughout life, it's like there's all this body image stuff on social media and the TV and magazines and music. And it's like it's supposed to be quote unquote empowering women, but it's really like if you don't look this way, there's something wrong with you. If you don't have your boobs out like this, there's something wrong with you. If you don't look like this, there's something wrong with you. There's always something wrong with you. We are beginning to see, like, let's say, quote unquote, plus size women modeling, right? But it's even then, it's like, why do they have to be labeled as plus size? Why do they have to be labeled as thin? Why does Victoria's Secret have to look a certain way? What's wrong with a little flab? What's wrong with a body that moves when it walks, right? And a lot of those models and a lot of athletes just that like push their bodies to limits and nutrition wise supplements and all of that are deep exercise or stress. They don't even get their period sometimes because they're like disowning a part of themselves in a way, and it's very unconscious. This is not to shame anybody. It's just to bring the awareness out there that something needs to change where women should be able to be like, yeah, I have my period. And I still, when I go to the store, I'm like, grab my organic tampons and I'm like, oh, uh, and I like put everything else on top of it. And it's like, why do I do that? Right? Why do I feel bad for being a freaking female? And I have learned to own my expressions, as in express my emotions by saying, like, hey, I don't feel good today. Hey, I got my lady time today. Or like, man, I'm just so tired. But then us women, we also have like an excuse because of these societal programs that it's like, I can be a bitch. I have my period. It's like, well, yeah, but also that just means that we need to be taught as a collective how to deal with our emotions, how to become emotionally regulated, to also to know that it's okay to express your feelings and not do it in a bitchy way, right? There's just so much around the menstrual cycle. And Maria talks about how like it lines up with the moon and all this stuff, but I'll let her talk about that. Um, and like it begins so young, the hiding. So then it also reflects into like our sexual energy, our sensual energy, our womb energy, and allowing ourselves to express and love our body in whatever it looks like, not because of how someone else says it should look or if we get compliments, right? We should be getting, we should just be complimenting each other all the time and being happy and grateful that we are all here. We are all different. We're all meant to be different. And fortunately, that's not what happens, right? There's a lot of bullying that goes on, and people don't even know when they're bullying, which is the worst thing. And you bully because you're insecure with something yourself. And like the first time I got my period, I'll put it out there since I expressed. I put the thing in my bum. Okay. If you want a good laugh. And so I kept bleeding. And I remember my uncle being like, oh my God. And my aunt was like, oh, like come back in the bathroom. And my cousin's laughing at me because she was like, what did you do? The stuff was in the bathroom because I didn't know what to do. No one taught me what to do. I never knew what to do. I didn't even know that there was 3 holes down there. So like, how the fuck was I supposed to know? And it was so traumatizing for me. So traumatizing because I just felt like I needed to hide because I didn't know, because there was no education around it. So, how do you think all of these kids who are getting their periods younger because of the foods and everything and are developing even younger, how do you think they feel? And then they're numbing out on social media. They're numbing out on different shows, music, right? we are being shamed at even younger age on such an unconscious collective level, and it needs to change. So that's why I'm here, just making this video. Even if one person listens to it, I'm putting it out there in the universe that we need to have more compassion for each other. There needs to be more education out there and be like, hey, you have your period. It's okay. It's normal. It's literally normal, right? Um, and we shouldn't have to hide from what we're feeling, what we're going through, right? And she was saying, my client was saying how like she wouldn't feel good and she'd have to be in school and just not feel good. And it got so bad where she'd be like nauseous and she had to go to the nurse. And like, and then we go into like how we feel literally connecting with our body, which I touched upon a little bit, but like, do we then use our feminine body, our female body for like pleasure, and it's coming from like a wounding, or are we using it for like, this is my body and I love it and I'm happy, or are we using it to get control of something or to feel needed, to feel wanted, to feel accepted? And I know men go through their own stuff because they also go through puberty, right? But they're literally not shedding every single month. And now there's kids are having sex changes younger. I don't even want to go there. But it's just fucking up the hormones, right? It's just like, I'm not gonna go there. But if you have kids, talk to them, let them know like period's okay. Kind of talk about the anatomy, even if it makes you uncomfortable. It's going to make you uncomfortable because you've probably never been talked to about it, right? So be that voice for your children that you didn't have, right? And go inside and be like, is there any part of me that's hiding from feeling shame for literally my own anatomy? And allow that to come out, allow that to be expressed, allow your body to move it out, journal it, scream, sing, dance, get a drum, punch a pillow, go for a run, but connect to your body, connect to that emotional trapped energy in there that feels shame around your own anatomy. Because we cannot continue to be in this society if we are all holding on to this very unconscious, deep layer of shame, of hiding who we are, hiding what anatomically happens to us, what psychologically and physiologically happens to us at certain ages, right? All these things change and they're meant to change. So they need to be accepted rather than shamed. So go within and connect with you and see where you've hidden, where you feel shame around your actual body, around your anatomy, around puberty. What ages come in? What memories come in? And show those parts of you so much love. So much love. All right. I love you guys. And if you need support, or if you like this video, please like and share it. But if you need support, if you need to understand where maybe you are holding on to energy, please reach out, book a session. Maria and I both offer coaching. But most importantly, just share this video to let people know like, we don't need to shame ourselves. We don't need to feel bad for our periods, right? Like, because even then it's like, it goes into, don't look at my vagina. Don't, right? It's so, or overly look at it. Like I used to work in a strip club and I'd be like, whoa. Not that I was a stripper, but it's just like, we should be able to express and love our bodies from a level of always being accepted versus shamed to then need and crave attention, or to go into hiding so we're not seen at all and then we don't speak up, and when we do speak up it's from anger or it's from shame. We all just want to be seen. So I love you. I see you. If you need anything, reach out.